What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. What I'm going to be showing you today is how to make some very easy and efficient flying machines that don't disappear, unlike the wing, which is arguably one of the best objects used to fly. However, it only lasts about a minute before it despawns, defeating the purpose of increasing your battery to use zonai devices for long periods of time. Luckily for you, I have not one, but two very easy builds that not only work well, but will also never disappear on you mid-flight. They both require very few materials as well, making them very cost efficient. They do have some differences, however. While both builds are good, they are good for different reasons. So remember to keep that in mind. Alright, let's jump right into it. The first thing you're going to want to do is head to a stable. One of the regular building stations that you'll find around the world works as well. However, those aren't as easy to find as a stable, which are marked on the map. But I can almost always guarantee that this one piece of wood will always be available at any stable. The only other materials needed for this build is a steering stick and two fans. Make sure when you're connecting the fans, you connect them exactly how I'm connecting them on here, or this device is not going to fly correctly, if at all. The easiest way that I've found to connect these fans is connect the first one onto the back of it, angled. Should connect no problems. The more annoying fan to connect is going to be that front fan, but if you lift up the entire piece of wood the way that I've just done it, and connect it to a fan that's standing upright, you can connect it fairly easily. This first build, I'd call it the jack of all trades. It's very easy to use, not too complicated, and it gets the job done in pretty much any situation. You can gain altitude very easily, you can move left and right, you can even descend with it, which I think is really important with flying devices. You can make some really cool flying devices that ascend very, very quickly. However, you can't descend without disconnecting from it, and from there, you just plummet to the ground. So being able to descend on one of these flying devices is very invaluable if you're traveling around Hyrule, especially if you don't want to fast travel. Now, for the second build, which is my personal favorite, again, you use the same amount of materials, so it doesn't cost anything more. However, the plank of wood, as opposed to the steering stick and the fans, is going to be in the opposite direction. When you're building this, make sure both of the fans are angled this way. If you put them on straight, you're not going to get the desired movement. Once you start up the device, make sure you pull all the way down on the left joystick so you can gain some height, and then you can start pushing forward. What I really like about this build over the first is that you can already tell I'm getting a lot more forward momentum. It honestly feels a lot more fun to pilot as well. As long as you have some altitude, you can turn a lot sharper with this as opposed to that first build. What you're really sacrificing with this build is you're not going to be able to ascend as quickly as that first build. This build is a lot more speed oriented. With that, there is a cost to being able to ascend as quickly. This is why I say that first build is probably a better idea to start with as opposed to this second one, because it's a little easier to control. It's a little more user-friendly. However, if you do go to this second build, you'll find that you can do a lot more fun and interesting movements while you're flying, as opposed to that original build. Another big reason why I prefer this second build is because while you can't ascend as quickly, you can descend much faster, as opposed to that first build. While the second build did take me a bit longer to get used to, I think overall I prefer it, and I make this one 9 out of 10 times. I think the sacrifice of not being able to ascend as quickly is worth it. When I'm able to move around in the air quicker, I can descend a lot faster, and it's honestly just way more fun of a build than that first one. I really feel like I'm piloting the device as opposed to that first build. Regardless of whether you prefer build 1 or build 2, if you've unlocked auto build at this point, I highly recommend favoriting both of these builds so that you can recreate them at any point in the game. The fact that the plank of wood is the only piece that you can't have on you at all times is fantastic, because if you're at a stable and you have two fans and a steering stick in your inventory, it's not going to cost you any zonite to build. If you're not at a stable or another building station and you don't have access to this one plank of wood, as long as you have auto build, it's only going to cost you 3 zonite to build this anyways. Granted, you have 2 fans and a steering stick. And worst comes to worst, if you have none of this, it's only going to cost 12 zonite to build. So either way, this is a very cheap, very efficient way to fly and move around Hyrule. That is all for this video. Did you like option 1 or option 2 more? Feel free to drop a comment down below and let me know. And I also wouldn't hate it if you hit that like button or smash that subscribe button for more. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.